Hello everyone. In this episode I am getting out of Kisumu and heading to Jinja, Uganda. Pretty exciting. Thank you for everyone who has supported me, not only financially but emotionally, and it's made a big difference. I really appreciate you. Okay, so Kisumu wouldn't let me go so easily. Here's me leaving the hotel, and the driveway to get in and out of this place, super steep, loose rocks, just would not give me a break really. But I made it there, got to the main road, and was like, oh, I'm home free. Then the GPS takes me down this super steep rocky path, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, can there be some tarmac on the other side of this? And nope, it's steeper and more loose rocks. So I get turned around and listen to this. God bless the R1250 GSA, saved my bacon once again. Then they put a big old barrier on the end of this road, not sure why, and was able to take this little cutout that this person so kindly showed me and get over to this other main road that was part tarmac, part dirt. But yeah, such an adventure. So finally I get into town, it's like, oh, let's get some gas. And that was a positive experience as usual. Hello. All right, take care. Bye-bye. So the road pretty quickly got out of town and started climbing up into the hills. And it was really nice to be in some lighter traffic and some beautiful terrain. And it was just what I needed after battling those crazy roads in Kisumu. I don't know why they're so difficult, but they can be, and especially with a big heavy bike. But yeah, this was really welcome and really nice. And there's the equator, pretty cool. That's fun. And some white dresses. How do they keep them so white? I don't get it. And then here's the pastor with his purple shirt on, pretty cool. And this kid was making it happen, working hard. God bless him. And I found this bus who was driving pretty great, so I followed him for a while. He was respectful and not too fast, and it was nice to follow somebody who was driving pretty reasonably. And then here's a nurse, look at her, isn't that cool? Such a great uniform, and lots of women carrying stuff on their heads. And the bodas are such workhorses, they just use them for everything. There's some lawn ornaments there for you, and we're getting up here into the border town, and here's a guy who is very desperate for my business. He's a border fixer and helps with paperwork, and he really wanted my business. But one of the things that I learned from this experience was always ask the price first. And they were pretty high pressure. They weren't really taking no for an answer, and they were definitely a barrier between me and the process, but they did help me through, and it was pretty quick, like an hour and a half. That was really nice. And then I was in Uganda, which was pretty cool. I mean, it was expensive, but they got me in fairly quickly and fairly painlessly. Here's some of the welcome party in Uganda, pretty nice. And oh, there's some more, and the last one. So they were cool, and then the traffic was not a lot different than it was in Kenya. Actually, it was worse. And my GoPro died later and missed out on some of that crazy traffic. But and there's 3 bodas carrying huge loads. They are just remarkable. And I think this was a wedding or a revival or something. A lot of people, and they were doing something, I'm not sure what. And that may have been some kind of political demonstration or something. Not sure what that was all about either, but pretty wild. Was happy to get out of there. Then there was this check station, checkpoint, not sure, but I got to go. Hi, do I need to stop or can I go? I'm going to Jinja. And when the big boss waves me through, you don't got to tell me twice. I was out of there. And so there's some bodas again, all loaded up. Look at this, that one, oh my gosh, so much stuff. And that one's on the bicycle, pulling it. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Look at them all, really workhorses. And then my GoPro died and I missed a bunch of footage with crazy traffic and this big truck broken down right in the middle of the road up on rocks for blocks. And so I got a hold of Sarah, who I was staying with, and she said to meet here. So I was waiting for her. There's a sweet doggy walking around. And eventually Sarah said, I'm going to be in a white RAV4. And I was like, oh, I think that's her. I think that's Sarah. Yep, it was Sarah. Thank goodness. It was just starting to sprinkle a little bit. And I really didn't want to be out in the rain. Very grateful to see her. And so I was following her back to her place where we'd be hanging out for a while. And here's a sample of some of the roads as the rain starts to pick up. And she wanted to stop and get some lunch. And I was happy to eat, but it was raining.
We're picking up lunch.
Sarah is one of those salt of the earth, just super sweet people and ultra kind. And I was hungry and I did appreciate her focusing on food, but this rain was starting to concern me. These two guys came in to get out of the rain and that dude was trying to bend space-time to fit his boda underneath that little shelter. Didn't quite do it, but at least he was out. People were running for cover. It was really picking up. And the road got worse and worse and really slick. The top layer of the soil just became like greasy, and that big heavy motorcycle was not doing what I wanted it to do. And I really didn't want to dump it again and end up trying to pick it up in the muck by myself with that big heavy load. But I eventually made it through. Like, here, Sarah, like, where'd you go? Come on, we've got to go this way. But it was super treacherous with that rain. So slick, slow, greasy. So I just took it nice and easy. That was part prayer, part He-Man grunt to will the bike from tipping over and try to keep it upright. It was really difficult and just starting to really pour big heavy drops. And of course I was getting wet and really didn't want to pick up the bike. Another He-Man prayer there, try and keep the bike upright. And eventually we made it inside and I was so happy. I was wet and tired, but so grateful to be done for the day and without spilling the bike. How about that? Thank you, everyone. And here's a little preview for the next episode. Peace and love to you all.